Hey, Queens, and welcome to Queens Around the Country, our show from my house to yours, where we catch up with some of our favorite queens from around the country. See how they're doing in quarantine, how they're feeling, what they're watching, what they're binging, how they feel about digital drag, and of course, what do they think of this season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Today, we have one of my sisty besties in the house. She's a New York City drag legend who's transplanted herself to the Sun Valley of Phoenix, Arizona, where she's becoming the Sun Valley's hottest art star. She has a hot new podcast. She's on my podcast, and she's a Hey Queen family member. Please welcome the stunning Erickatoure Aviance.
Oh, hi. What's up?
Hi, Queen.
Hey, Qween. How are you doing?
Queen, how is quarantine treating you in Arizona?
Quarantinta is feeling a bit stir crazy, but trying to keep busy. Like, what are you gonna do? We go on walks in the morning, and then I try to find things to keep busy throughout the day. Same as everybody else, girl. I've been doing sewing, listening to music, shit like that.
Getting ready to shoot music videos. You're gonna be you're recording new music, and then you're going to be releasing music videos.
Yes, I'm recorded the vocals for a song that we've had for quite some time. We did a series of songs a few years back. And we're going to release them all as an EP. But one of them we hadn't recorded the vocals for yet. So we recorded the vocals this week. We scouted some locations for videos. So we're going to do some videos for these 3 songs. And I'm making outfits for them because I got the time. So why not?
Yes, you do. You're locked up, and you're going to be sewing avant-garde, cunty shoulders, and the rest.
I'm avant-garde. I think there's one with an avant-garde cunty shoulder for sure. There's a lot of I'm feeling a garter belt.
Okay.
I'm feeling a garter belt, so I'm incorporating the garter belts into all of my looks, and like frilly underwear.
That's not a shock for anyone who's a fan of yours. The return to frilly underwear is something your fans have been waiting for since your hit My Pumps.
Yay!
Now, what are you binging to keep yourself occupied? You were telling me earlier that you are rediscovering an artiste.
Oh yeah, I'm all about Lana Del Rey right now. I got into her first album, as much as everybody else did, I think. And it was great. But I never like followed through with her. I didn't really follow her through her career. And I just rediscovered her, and it's wonderful. The sad, angsty high school girl inside of me is really just living for the experience. I've been playing recently on loop. I think my favorite album is Ultraviolence. That one's from 2014. Every song on it sounds like a Bond theme, like one of the really like sedate Bond themes from the late 60s. It's just heaven. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more, honestly. And I'm glad that I have time to rediscover her.
Yes.
This quarantine moment, I just feel like doing the dance that she does when she like turns around real slow. Do you remember that? I loved it so much. She got so much shit for it, but I thought it was the most genius thing. All she did do you remember that performance on Saturday Night Live? Everybody remember it?
Yeah.
So much shit on it. I was in love with her after that because literally all she did was fix her hair and turn around in a circle really, really slowly. It was high art as far as I'm concerned. So when you don't do anything else, you go like this. It's so effective.
I mean, that's drag, isn't it?
It is. I think, yeah. It was a drag performance.
Now you've recently transplanted. You were, of course, a New York City drag legend.
Yes.
And then you in the House of Aviance, which is a very prominent house in the New York City club scene.
Yeah, it's huge. There's Aviances everywhere in New York.
You briefly moved here to LA, where you were part of our band leaders on Hey Qween.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was the best part of LA, actually.
Yes.
You were the best part of living there for me.
Oh, sweetie. Hearts and flowers. Then you and Adam Joseph, our band leader from Hey Qween, have now moved to Arizona, a notoriously red state. And you're doing a new podcast about it.
Yes, we are. It's called Turning Purple. And it's all
a very smooth theme song. I love the theme.
Thank you.
Adam wrote the Hey Qween theme, and of course, you guys collaborated on the Turning Purple theme.
Yeah. And we've just, it's basically taking a really, we kind of felt like we really wanted to take an honest look at what life can be for an independent artist, because I feel like both of us were kind of feeling like most of social media, podcasts, like it's all saturated with the same sort of narrative of like, I knew what I wanted to do from the second I was born, and I hustled and hustled and hustled and hustled. All my dreams came true, and now I'm rich. And it's just like, it's just like everywhere. It just seemed like the same. I'm like, whose life is that really? It certainly hasn't been my experience. So we wanted to talk about it. And also, kind of discuss, there's a trend of a lot of, liberal-minded folks that can't so much afford to live in large cities, like the major cities anymore, that are moving back to either where they came from originally or have found, other major cities that may be a little more red than they're used to. And we're definitely in that situation. It's a little bit of a culture shock. I mean, seeing people with guns on their hips at Walgreens is definitely a little bit hard to get used to. But I don't know. I feel I lived in 145th Street and Broadway for a while. So I definitely, and that was a long time ago. So
right. We lived in neighborhoods where people were armed before.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't so blatant as people at Walmart with their shotgun in their belt.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a little shocking, but all in all, we've met some really amazing people. There's a really vibrant queer community here and a really vibrant drag scene, which is currently on hiatus. But with all, hopefully, she will return with gusto at sometime in the very near future. Well, probably not near future, but future.
Soon enough to look forward to it. You were doing big productions. You and Adam Joseph were both doing Dirty Disney with one of the most talented local queens in the Sun Valley.
Yeah, her name is Pandora Destronger. She's a veteran performer. She's been doing shows here in Phoenix for like decades now. And she has really cultivated a group of really strong performers. And it was something that was really fun to get involved with, to kind of step into something that already had an audience that such as it did. Like the first show that I did with them was at a place called the Crescent Ballroom. And there was like over 300 people there. And there was and they paid to come see it, to come see a bunch of drag queens sing live. I was like, I've never in my life experienced something like that. I mean, I have. As like one-off shows, but not to be a part of something where I could like continually perform and have such a large audience that came specifically to see something that I was doing. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. It's really great. And I've been able to perform more here than anywhere in a very long time. So,
what are some of the clubs and bars in Arizona that you think are on the up and up in terms of a hot new gay scene of Arizona?
The hot new gay scene.
The hottest clubs in the Sun Valley are.
In the Sun Valley. Well, let's see. Where are the most things that I go to happening? Well, The Rock was the first place that Adam and I kind of claimed as like the place that we wanted to go. The most kind of like our touchstone. When going out, and they have tons of shows there all the time, and it's a really just like everywhere else pretty much in Phoenix, the staff is very friendly, and I did a benefit show there when I first moved here for a local gay and trans youth shelter. There's so much of that here. There's tons of shows and benefits like all the time for lots of queer organizations, which makes it really fab. Let's see, other shows. There's a show that I really enjoyed going to with some other local queens called The Queer Agenda. And it's kind of these younger queens that are very much they made their own theme song, which is all about like, I can't even remember, but it's very lengthy. And they went to a lot of trouble for this show. And it's all about being very inclusive. They have bio queens, trans performers, all kinds of all over the map stuff. And they love to chit chat with each other, which is always entertaining. One of those, like, who are the queens that do that? Benediction is one of those queens. She's really doing a lot of stuff, and like Doja Stevens does that show as well. There's a Stevens clan here. There's Doja Stevens. Let's see. Oh God, who the other? Whitney Stevens and Savannah Stevens, and they all like do shows. Yeah. Okay.
Good memory. Thank you, Erickatoure. You did it.
Savannah Stevens is like the mother, I think, kind of like the mother of the house. She's a very pageant oriented. I've seen her do. She does an amazing Reba McEntire. I gagged.
Ah, nice.
She got like the whole face performance thing and everything, and she's got a whole like little crew of younger queens athletes. I think they took her last name because she was their mentor. But there's all kinds of stuff, and they do that at a place called Stacy's, which I also go to sometimes. We usually do like, there's a little circuit. We do The Rock, Pat O's Bunkhouse, and Stacy's.
Well, that's the Erickatoure trifecta, sweetie, of the Sun Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Erica, what are you feeling with this explosion of digital drag? You were part of the Hey Qween family variety hour, and you slayed it from that very living room.
Yes. I love that drag is going like so digital now. I feel like the art form really lends itself to the medium. I can't stop looking at myself in the little window. It's hard not to look at oneself and not to do a little hand performance whilst speaking.
I mean, this is Queens around the country. Do what you will.
I feel like
everything that you came to do. Whatever you desire.
Do what all that you intend to. Butch Qween, 1 through 17. But yeah, I've seen a few of these live, like, digital shows. I know Sherry Vine's doing some really funny ones, and Jackie Beat is doing some really funny ones. But there's also like these ones, like Bitch Puddin' does this thing on Twitch.
Yes.
It's very artsy. I like how artsy people are getting on it with like projections, and, like, backgrounds and things. It's quite interesting. We're actually going to start. I mean, I don't know when it's going to come because we still have bits and baubles that we need to hook our devices up properly.
It's a pandemic. You can't go to Best Buy.
No, we got a little too late because all the shit that you need is fucking sold out everywhere. All the stuff that you need to plug your shit into the other shit to get it to go on the internet. It's all sold out, girl. But we've ordered our bits and baubles and they're on their way. So Adam, Joseph, and I will be starting very soon a show from our living room called The Living Room, where Adam Joseph will be DJing and singing live, and I'll be doing some lip sync numbers, and we'll probably be singing some songs together as well, all from the comfort of our living room.
I love it. Okay. Now, what are you thinking of this season of Le RuPaul Le Drag Race? You're watching. You have not always been someone who watches Drag Race, but you're watching this year.
I am watching this year, and I've been watching for the past few seasons. I have to be honest. I feel like they're really scrambled to edit Sherry Pie out, and I think that a lot of the other queens, it seems to me that some of the other queen storylines are really suffering because of it. But unfortunately, what are you going to do? They made the decision they made, and she did what she did, so you got the show that you got. But I feel like there's some real talent on this season. I hate to love Gigi Good, but I do love her. I was just like, girl, really? You're going to make me fall in love with another skinny white bitch on this show? I was really kind of hoping that that one of my, like a big girl would pull the main storyline, or, a girl of color, or God forbid, a big girl of color pull the main storyline. God forbid. But, I mean, the thing is, she's good. Gigi Good is good.
She is really good.
You can't, she's really good. I think that she's, really playing the game, though. Obviously, she can dance. She said she's not a dancer, couldn't dance. That's not true. She said she couldn't touch her toes, and then she did a back handspring. Like, you're doing a little bit of fibbing, Gigi Good.
Remember what Valentina taught you. It's like Peppermint said, don't let it play you, play it.
Yeah, girl. She's playing it. She's playing it like
doing good. Okay, now Erica, we've got a lot of questions for you from our patrons. For everybody who's watching, if you're a patron at patreon.com/HeyQueenTV, and on the $10 level, you get to send in questions for our guests on Queens around the country. So we're here with Erickatoure Aviance. And Erica, the first question is from K Barnes. And they want to know, who would you do on Snatch Game, speaking of Drag Race? If you were on Drag Race, who would you do for Snatch Game?
Snatch Game. Well, there's a few things that the one impression that I'm working on the longest, like my entire life, is Joan Crawford, but more specifically, Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest. That's the one that I'm the best at. That I can do other ones. I can do Betty Davis. I even pulled out Cyndi Lauper for when I auditioned this last time. So, but I think that Joan Crawford, or Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest.
Okay, well, can I have a taste?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I gotta get the face going. The face going. Tina Christopher Dammit. I don't ask much from you, girl. Why can't you treat me with the respect that I'm entitled to? The way that I would be treated by any stranger on the street.
Bravo. Cast.
Thank you.
Cast. Let's see. We have another question from Susie B. Wants to know, what is your favorite NYC nightlife memory?
Oh, crap. My favorite NYC.
There's a lot to choose from.
There's a lot to choose from. Holy crap.
Well, you could just pick a highlight.
A highlight. I mean, everything that happened at Mr. Black was a highlight. Specifically when they decided to put the DJ booth in the bathroom. Do you remember that? They put the DJ booth in the bathroom because that's where most people spent most of their time, sweetie, was, let's say, fixing their makeup.
I do remember the DJ booth in the bathroom.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in there, and there were a lot of stalls. It was like whack-a-mole, people just kind of going up and down on the top of the stall. So they decided to, like, as a kiki, I think it was for somebody's birthday? I don't remember. Or an anniversary. I think it was an anniversary for the party. They put the DJ booth in the bathroom stall.
That is memorable. It
was really genius.
We have some patrons here live in the chat who are sending questions to you. Again, you can get in on the live broadcast and chat with our guests if you're joining us on Patreon. Sasha Flick, God love her. She said something about this quarantine situation that you're actually liking.
Something about the quarantine situation that I'm actually liking. I get to spend time with my sewing machine because I've realized every time I sew something, I forget how difficult it was. I just look at the thing that I made and I'm like, this is wonderful. I'll just whip up another one of those. What I've realized is that I am not as good at sewing as I think I am. So I need the time to spend with the machine in order to get what I want out of it. So being able to spend time with the sewing machine is definitely it's way up there on something that I enjoy about this quarantine.
Angie S. wants to know, do you still love performing in drag?
I do. In
this position. How can you ask that question of her?
Drag is something, it's in my bones. I love it. I've been performing live mostly since I've been here. Well, exclusively, really, since I've been in Arizona, been singing live. But the variety hour definitely gave me a little taste of something that I've been missing. So I can't wait to do some lip sync numbers because I do love to lip sync.
Yes. Barbara Kearney would love to know what influences Erica in terms of her drag aesthetic, and where do you find inspiration?
My drag aesthetic. My current drag aesthetic, I kind of transitioned out of a while back out of trying to look like something that I saw in a magazine and trying to look like what I dreamt I was when I was a child, which was mostly identified with evil cartoon characters like evil queens, like the evil queens from all the Disney movies were all of my favorite things. So that's definitely I don't know if you can see that influence at all, but it's definitely that. I mean, there's that, and then there's also, style icons like Grace Jones. I love high fashion, couture of the heyday of couture of modern couture, which was the 90s. Gautier, Galliano, Mugler, and the like. Those are all definitely influences.
Jordan R. Duncan, first of all, wants to hear you perform Misfits songs from Jen and the Holograms in concert.
We are the Misfits. Our songs are better. We are the Misfits. We're gonna get her.
You can hear on one of the Zero Fucks podcasts, we did a whole show about Jem and the Holograms with me and Erica and Adam. What is next for Erica? He says that you have made your fantasy of running in a gown in the desert for Ova, but what is next? What's your next dream, your next visual dream?
Oh gosh, my next visual dream. Well, the videos that we're shooting this week, actually, are going to be more centered around me just dancing. Something that I haven't really done. I mean, there's been some of it in the videos that I've done in the past, but these ones are going to be, I've kind of focused on finding interesting locations for me to dance in. So see how that goes.
Love it.
Mama's recently lost some extra lbs and is feeling fab again. So and I can still kick and I can still scratch.
How exciting!
So good.
Peter Mooney Smith says he was gobsmacked to hear your honesty on Turning Purple regarding your father. Have you ever thought about writing a book on your life? It would be therapeutic as well as a great read.
Well, I mean, as you know, my early childhood is quite interesting. But have I ever considered writing a book? I guess, I mean, I never considered it before, but I guess it would be interesting. It's hard for me to look at my life in that way because it happened to me, but who knows? Maybe. I mean, people seem to be identifying with me, the stories that I'm sharing. So maybe putting them together in one place wouldn't be such a bad idea. All
right. Well, she's an author now. Last but not least, David Abercrombie. He doesn't have a question. He just wants to say he thinks Turning Purple is great. So that's very sweet.
That is very sweet. Thank you.
A lot of love from the Patreon. Erica, thank you so much for joining me today, sweetie. I always love to chat with you, even though we talk often, multiple times a week on camera. This is a delight. Thank you for getting in drag for us in the middle of the day.
You're welcome.
Everyone should check out Erica's new podcast, Turning Purple. And you can hear her on the Zero Fucks podcast right here at Hey Qween TV's Patreon. And, of course, enjoy Erica on episodes of Hey Qween, where you really bring the fashion and sing the songs.
Fashion and singing.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you want to be part of the conversations of Queens around the country, join us at patreon.com/HeyQueenTV. You can ask questions to all of your favorite queens. Stay safe, everybody. We love you. Bye, Queens.
Bye.